Friday the 13th, part 4. Alright, just say it with me. A bunch of teens go to the woods, and I don't think I've ever really realized how similar the first 4 movies are. Well, at least I have part 5 to look forward to. I have to say, though, this is probably the most random Friday the 13th there is, and that's saying a lot given that we're going to be watching one where he's in space. By random, I simply mean that, yeah, we have the teenagers go to the woods, but then we also have a family, and then we also have a hunter. A man who's hunting for Jason. I love all of the elements of this movie, and I find it amazingly fun. I actually think the teenagers in the woods storyline is probably the worst part of the movie, but it still has its great moments. Crispin Glover is fucking awesome. That dance just makes every scene that could be bad great. Oh, sorry, your character is very flat and boring. Crispin Glover dance. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember your name. Crispin Glover dance. Seriously, go check it out on YouTube. Oh my god, it's awesome. But that's not even the best part about this movie, is that as much as those guys are fun and interesting and a little bit better than the part 3 characters, you have the family. Mom, daughter, and son. Now, that son is known as Tommy Jarvis, and we're going to be seeing him a little bit more. But in this movie, it's the first time he's showing up, and he's a 10-year-old kid. And I know what you're thinking right now. Wait, did they really just throw a 10-year-old kid into a horror film, rated R? I don't understand. He's our main character. Okay, what were they thinking? Normally you have teenagers or adults in these because those are the people who watch these movies. It's about appeal. They can understand where they're coming from. They can relate in some ways. But when you throw a 10-year-old kid into this, there's nobody to relate to. Therefore, you kind of lose some of that connection to your main character, the feeling and the want for them to survive. But not in this case. It's like the movie realized that, yeah, they're going to be casting a 10-year-old kid in this, but fuck it, let's make him awesome. Seriously, this kid makes like amazing looking masks, which I know aren't his, but he makes amazing looking masks. He plays fun little video games, and he can repair a car. He's actually a really intelligent, sensible, not a jerkwad, not an idiot. He's not mean to his sister. He's just a kid. He's perfect in this movie. And guess what? He's our goddamn hero. He even kills Jason in this movie. What a weird little twist. It's like we had one writer who's going, here's my next Friday the 13th script, and hands it over, and it's just the teenagers all in the woods again, and they're like, we kind of did that already. What else can you add? Well, I do have this family plot idea I was thinking about, but it didn't really pan out. Perfect. Let's just fit that right in there. Okay. But we're still maybe about 10-15 minutes short in the whole running time. Alright. I got one more for you guys. Let me throw in... Oh, God. Somehow it works. I don't know how. Like, it's just fucking awesome. It definitely isn't the best Friday the 13th movie, simply because of that randomness. It does make it feel a little bit jointed. It's not your part 1 or part 2, which is a nice, cohesive plot. But for the fact that it sets up Tommy, and sets him up very well, I quite enjoy this movie because of what his character becomes. And like I said, it's just a character movie. It's so much fun and just depth. Oh, couple small things I noticed throughout this movie that I wanted to quickly mention. I never noticed this before, but when they put Jason's dead body into the cooler, a little bit of breath comes out. You can see that. And I'm like, that's awesome. I don't think I ever noticed that before. Other thing I noticed, when Jason stabs a girl through the chest and through a raft she's floating on, pretty cool, pretty scary. But somehow that raft stays afloat even though it's got a giant puncture in the bottom of it. Maybe blood is a really good sealant. I don't know. Either way, something I was just thinking about. Like, did he just, like, carry around a patch with him and kind of stick it on the bottom for effect? The way he sets up bodies, I really wouldn't be surprised if he had that on him at all times. I don't know. This movie just seems to have a great sense of fun about it, knowing that it is just another Friday the 13th film, but rather than make everybody bland and one-dimensional like Part 3 did, they just kind of went, balls to the walls, let's have some fun with this. And that's exactly what they did. They just had fun with this movie, and so did I. Last I checked, we had a body count of 12. Actually, didn't mention it in my last video, but Part 3, also had a body count of 12. So far we're tied. You know what? I'm actually quite shocked. I thought the body counts would be a lot higher in these movies. I didn't really think much of it when I was, starting to do these tallies. I didn't think I'd be really shocked, but here I am. First two movies had 10, and the last two had 12. I know that they're going to get a little bit bigger, particularly I think in Part 7 or 8, I can't remember, but they do get pretty ridiculous. But 12 is not a bad number. It's actually allowing for a lot of interesting creative little deaths, but not overdoing it, not making it a gore fest by any stretch. And it's kind of neat. Well, unfortunately, with the good comes the bad. And somehow, just like the cycle starts where 2 is good, 3 is bad, 4 is good, 5... well, you can figure this out. It seems to be that in-between number. As for how I'm feeling, well, I'm awake. Let's just say I've got a Red Bull on the table waiting for me. I'm starting to do the yawning, and given that this is a bad movie about to come out, I don't know. We'll see how I feel. See you soon, guys.